In recent years, the international community has advanced in its consideration and activity concerning issues and human rights of Indigenous peoples, most especially in the landmark adoption of the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples in 2007. The World Conference on Indigenous Peoples outcome document presents the stepping stones that would bring the work of the international community on Indigenous peoples' rights to the next level. In some parts of the world, however, systemic violations of their rights continue, ranging from arbitrary arrest, torture, and extrajudicial killings to the labeling of indigenous organizations or naming leaders, activists, and organizations as terrorists. Their lack of access to basic social services and the violation of their cultural rights remains appalling. Violence against indigenous women is still pervasive in many countries. The increasing arrival of foreign investments into many countries further exacerbates the loss of lands and resources of indigenous peoples and leads to significant environmental destruction of their territories. Exploitation by the mining industry and the increase of foreign investments continue to deteriorate the human rights of indigenous peoples. This only hinders their right and capacity to pursue their own economic, social, and cultural development. Mr. Vice President, the ethical challenge to be met, therefore, is that of reconciling the various rights and interests in such a way that the legitimate economic interest does not compromise higher values, such as the social function of inventions and knowledge and the human rights of the peoples from which the knowledge and resources originate. The Holy See advocates a unitary approach of law that is structured on the basis of fundamental human rights. According to that vision, the value of justice in any set of enactments has to be measured by the possibility of perpetuating and reconciling it with such human rights. In this way, the correct determination of the scope of ownership rights has to be made in relation to the principle of justice and the common good, which includes the universal destination and purpose of the goods of creation. Thank you, Mr. Vice President.